When choosing a PhD supervisor, this is how it normally works. You send requests to few of the professors who might have funding. Most of them do not reply. Suddenly you get a response from one of those. You become so grateful and so excited that you immediately make a decision to join that professor. This quick decision could be a recipe of disaster and you could destroy your whole career. Because funding is not the only thing you should be looking for. In this video, I am going to show you 5 critical questions which you must ask your PhD supervisor before accepting his or her supervision. So let's get started after a short break. Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Tahir, and if this is your first time, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video on this channel every Tuesday and Friday. For those who do not have time to watch full video, I have put these questions here. You can read these questions and you are welcome to skip this video. But for some serious students who want to learn more about this, please watch full video. Now, before we talk about these 5 questions, there are 2 assumptions and 3 important things you should understand, and then we will talk about these 5 questions. What are my 2 assumptions? The first assumption is that you are on a scholarship, because in my opinion, PhD must be on a scholarship. If you do not get a scholarship, don't do PhD. And the second assumption is that you know how many publications you are expected to have by the end of your candidature. This information is available on university's website. Some universities require only 3 conference papers. Some might need 3 conference and 1 journal, and some universities, they do not demand any publication. So these are the 2 assumptions. Now there are 3 important things which you must consider before asking these questions. The first thing is that you are a valuable commodity for the university. You are an important, valuable person as a PhD student for that supervisor and for the university. So don't just be grateful that someone has accepted you, because that supervisor might be more interested in getting you than what you are, because you will be doing the hard work to put his name on your publications. You will be doing publications that will rank that university. So don't under-evaluate yourself. You are valuable for the professor, you are valuable for the university. This is first thing. If you don't understand this, you might not be able to even ask any question. Second important thing is that these questions are not to be asked in an email. These questions must be asked in a meeting, in a sitting with the supervisor. You have to arrange it, and by looking in the eyes, but politely and professionally. And the third important thing you should understand is that you are not judging the person as a researcher or as a supervisor, because you are just a newbie in the complex world of academia. What you are looking for is just whether that person is a good fit for you or not. You are not in a position to judge anyone whether he or she is a good or a bad professor. So these are the 3 important things you should keep in your mind before asking these questions. Now I will be using words for assuming a male supervisor, because it's hard to say he or she all the times, but a supervisor could be a female as well. Now let's talk about the questions now. The first question is, do you have plans to leave this university within next few years? This is very important for those students who have planned a particular supervisor because they want to do research in a particular field of science. And normally in any university, every professor has a specialization in one field. So if you are only interested in that field and the supervisor goes away, then you will be in trouble, because the new person which will be assigned to you as your supervisor will not be knowledgeable in that particular field. This problem will eventually be solved somehow. There are techniques and strategies you can do how to tackle this situation, but it will waste your time. And it is good to ask this because he might not have any plans and you will be in a peace of mind. And I have seen many students who got this problem. Now you have to accept whoever university assigns to you. So this is good to ask. Now the second question is how the authorship of publications will work. There are few things to understand here. Now there are only few countries and universities where there is a code of conduct. Normally this is done with you and your supervisor. You negotiate with your supervisor and decide who will be the first author, who will be the second author, and so on. Another important thing is sometimes in a university there are large groups. You also support research work of other groups. You spend some time working with them other than your supervisor. In that situation, what will happen? Whether they will put your name on their publications or not. What is going on in the university? So you have to discuss this with your supervisor. What is the practice going on? Are there many groups? We have to collaborate, and how the publications authorship will work. Now the third question is, would you be able to send me to conferences where my paper has been accepted at least once a year? Now this is very important. Now I am not a big fan of conference papers, and I have mentioned this in my other videos that if you can avoid publishing a conference paper, that is good. Always focus on a journal if you think that you can publish in a journal paper, because conference papers are worthless. They will not add value to your resume. But there are few students who are not able to publish in journals, and if your university only requires 3 conference papers, then you should be focusing on conferences as well. So this is the first reason for conference paper. There is another reason for publishing in conferences which I have already mentioned somewhere else in my videos, and that is networking. And when you submit to a conference paper and your paper is accepted, then it is very important that you attend that conference, and this needs some funding, travel grants, some living expenses, and only your supervisor or your university can support you because you are a student. You are not making a lot of money to support your travel. So therefore this is very important that your supervisor is willing to send you in the conferences, because you have to network with other researchers in order to get your potential interviewers in other university for your job opportunities, your career development. So this is what you should be focusing on during these 5 years. How to network with other people in the academia and how to get some job after you complete your PhD. So always try to attend a conference at least once or twice a year. And therefore this question is very important to ask in the beginning, because if he or she makes a commitment, then he will definitely try to fulfill that commitment later on and you will be happy. Now the fourth question is, do you consider yourself a hands-on or a hands-off supervisor? Now hands-on supervisor are those supervisors who are very actively involved in activities. He will be on your shoulder all the time, pushing you to do experiments to get some results, will always be having discussions with you, easily accessible, in the lab, with you. So this is hands-on. Hands-off is a person who mostly stays in his room. You will not see him sometimes weeks, sometimes months. He will give you a free hand, whatever you do. He will show you this is the lab and then you and your PhD. Now, this type of person is not always bad. This type of person sometimes suits you. But if you are a mummy-daddy type student who needs step-by-step instructions all the way, who was dependent on tutors during his HSC or A-level, who was dependent on teachers for instructions all his life, then this supervisor is not for you. If you are self-disciplined, if you have strong research links with other researchers in the community, then this supervisor will be fine, even better for you. So this deserves a separate video and I will make some time. But this is the important question to ask. Now the last question, how many PhD students you have supervised who also have completed PhD? This is very critical question and the most important question to ask. Why this question is important? Because this question is a deal breaker. If the person says to you, I don't have any student who have completed the PhD, then my advice is stay away. Full stop. You don't want to be a practice ground for that person. Now you might ask a question that if nobody joins him as a PhD student, then how he will get experience? Well, the answer is that there are some fool people who will never ask this question. There exists a bigger fool than you in this world. Actually, there exists a bigger fool than any fool. So therefore, don't worry about this. This is none of your business. But my advice is that you should not be the first to join this kind of supervisor. There are a lot of issues supervising a PhD student, and until someone has some experience, you should stay away. Now, if the average duration of his PhD students is very long, they complete PhD in 7 years, for example, then there could be some other reasons and you have to dig deeper to try to understand, because there are not many options for supervisors for you. Now the last thing I would like to mention is that even if you get the best supervisor, there is no guarantee that you will complete the PhD. Nearly half of the students change their supervisor in a hope that they will complete their PhD because their expectations were sometimes very high. So therefore, this video was only to help you decide your PhD supervisor. So I hope that you like this video. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching and see you next time.